Welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. The media says that LeBron James needs more help. He needs to get up out of LA. His team this year wasn't strong enough. They are of no help to LeBron James. This is what I saw on First Take. I could not believe it, right? We'll talk about that in a minute. LeBron walks out without even shaking Joker's hand, or the Denver Nuggets congratulating him once again. The media post game, or the post game, LeBron talks about his family and Bronny, right? In the post game, well, LeBron didn't come out and exactly say it. You know, the media, it's already scripted what they're going to ask LeBron and stuff like that because they got to ask him. So he talks about his family and Bronny. And I'm trying to tell you, I told you ahead of time what was going to happen. LeBron's postseason happens, and the real NBA postseason happens when LeBron gets eliminated. You're not going to hear that on no other channel because I've been trying to tell you this for weeks, and people try to play dumb. We'll talk about that in a minute. LeBron attempts to hit a woman on the sideline, right? He bows up at her. A woman on the sideline, a Denver Nuggets fan. Woo! So let's stick to that story right there. LeBron made a woman flinch after he walked by her and she threw up a crybaby face to LeBron James. And I think her friend did too. LeBron then, I think we all done seen the footage. LeBron then attempts to act like he's going to hit her, and she like kind of flinched. This is a guy that's 6'9", 250, 270, depending on when the juice is working, right? The face of your league. Supposed to be the #1 or #2 greatest player of all time, according to ESPN, Fox Sports, and all these fools that he pays off, right? Has over $1 billion, an icon, and he does this to a woman? He does this to a woman. Wow. Why are you even looking at the fans in the first place? In a game this crucial? Why? She didn't call you the B word. She didn't square up with you. She didn't bow up to you. She made a crybaby face. So why would you do that to her? Act like you was gonna hit her. And the media doesn't talk about it. Who is running the NBA? Because I don't think that nobody's running the NBA. Maybe ESPN and Fox is running the NBA. There's no way anything could happen like this, and Adam Silver, the commissioner, says nothing about it. Nothing about it. We already know he doesn't get on LeBron for criticizing officials every single game, cussing at him, calling them all kind of names, chasing them down the court, crying, screaming, and yelling every time he doesn't get a foul when he drives to the basket. And let me tell you something. I think Outside the Lines, his video, he's got a channel, and he puts out all the ratings from basketball, football, all type of sports. The NBA this year in playoff ratings has been horrific. I think he said that this past game drew like 3.5 million viewers. What? A game this big? Game 5? Wow. I could not believe it. And he said that the NBA playoffs ratings down 6% from last year. And he worries that it's going to get worse because a lot of your superstars are out of it right now. I don't know if I'm going to talk about Anthony Edwards because these fools done got me mad about this already. This might have to be a separate video. But yeah, the NBA is about to crash and burn. 3 million viewers in a country that's over 3 million people in this country? What? Look, man, I'm trying to tell you, nobody wants to see this guy Half the NBA fans have left. And let me try to tell you what, if they would have won this series, the Lakers, what's left of the NBA, half of those fans would have left too, right? So it's a good thing the Lakers didn't win. Nobody likes LeBron. I don't care what they're trying to tell you on TV. It's ridiculous. Go look at his finals ratings. They suck. They've sucked until Curry showed up. 07, 11, 12, 13, 14. He never cracked 20 million. One time in the finals before Curry. Never. Every time Curry's not there, he ain't doing well because nobody wants to see this guy. And let me tell you the sad part about it. The NBA is really going to crash and burn when he leaves because this guy isn't sold based on his skill, being a good basketball player, being a good guy, or nothing like that. It's sold on controversy, and that's it, to piss people off, make people mad, and go back and forth. That's all he's sold on, not greatness. So, because the NBA has sold him as the face of the league pretty much for all this time into year 21, the NBA is in big trouble. It would have been like them, putting Kareem as the face of the NBA until he retired in 88? It never promoted Michael Jordan. Let's throw Michael Jordan's shoes out. Let's forget about that. Never promoted Magic Johnson. Never promoted Larry Bird. Never promoted any. I don't care if they was winning or not. We all know a lot of people done won on LeBron's watch, right? So I'm just saying, even though Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas, all these type of guys, well, Isaiah didn't win until, I think Kareem, was he there? I'm not sure. Let's just say Isaiah Thomas. They didn't promote Isaiah Thomas. They didn't promote Dr. J, Michael Jordan. None of these guys that came in the 80s. Barkley, Hakeem, Stockton. Nobody got promoted until Kareem retired. Imagine that. What kind of league would you actually have? And some people might be like, well, there's no way they couldn't promote him. Look how those guys were playing in the 80s. Look how these guys have been playing and beating the crap out of LeBron. 17 seasons of his 21 seasons? He's only won 4 championships. So they've been beating the crap out of this guy, and he's still the face of the league. Other players have came, shined, and everything. Won scoring titles, assist titles, rebound titles, block titles, all this. But they're trying to tell you a guy with only 2 statistical titles has been so great and been the face of the NBA. So what I'm trying to say is when he leaves, they're in big trouble because they haven't wanted to promote SGA, barely Anthony Edwards, but they're lying. They're not promoting their champion, Joker. Not really Luka. They're in big trouble. And they know it. That's why. Let's move on. So, Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp, and I forget what that other guy's name is. Piggly Wiggly, that be on ESPN, Brian Windhurst. They had the nerve to say LeBron needs another team, but not in LA. The West is too good. Everybody's coming up, getting better, and his team isn't getting no better. Wow. Oh, boy. These guys don't want to play with LeBron James. Instead of telling the truth, ESPN, and I didn't get to watch Fox. They probably were saying the same thing because they're both owned by Disney, right? So they read off the same script, right? So instead of them telling the truth and saying, LeBron, you're in year 21. You was in a play-in. You're 4-6. Only 2 statistical titles. All these teams don't want on your watch. The only way you've been making it to the playoffs is a play-in. You won a Disney bubble when everybody was sick. Man, just retire, bro. We got you, Fox and ESPN, right? Don't they got LeBron as number 1 or number 2? Chris Broussards, your Nick Rice, your Rob Parkers, your Shannon Sharps, all these type of guys. Stephen A. Smith, they got him as number 1 or 2, right? So retire. If you guys say that this guy is number 1 or number 2, how come you're not telling the guy to retire? Because there's really nothing more he can do. He'll never match Michael Jordan in what he did. And all of us fans with any basketball knowledge know he's not even top 10, right? So just going by their logic, if they say he's 1 or 2, he should be able to retire gracefully, right? They're lying straight to your face. They know this guy is not 1 or 2. They know when this guy retires, they have to write another script. The next Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan didn't do this in this season. Michael Jordan wasn't shooting like this. Michael Jordan wasn't grabbing these rebounds. It's always going to be what Michael Jordan didn't do to get the comparison for somebody else to be compared to Michael Jordan, right? So we're looking at maybe like Wemby, something like that, because they got a problem. They got a big problem because 2 plumbers are running the league. And they said for a minute, right? You got guys on ESPN and Fox and, Jordan played in a plumber's era. But, and we know what plumbers, they say they're plumbers because they're white, right? I didn't say that. Jordan fans didn't say it. We would never make up something that ludicrous. So they say that if you're white, you're a plumber, right? So 2 plumbers are running the NBA right now. Luka and Joker. Statistically in, winning championships. And they can't explain this if this era is bigger, faster, stronger, and more athletic. They just can't explain that. They can't explain that. But, they always tell you they're trying to deceive your eyes. Well, the LeBron fans, right? Because they're idiots. A lot of these young fans are just idiots. So clearly you can go back and look at the 80s and 90s, and these guys were bigger, stronger, or taller, stronger, and I would say faster for their position, right? So yeah, they got a problem on their hand. That's why they're trying to keep LeBron in there, because they don't know how to explain how these 2 plumbers are going to take over this NBA, and they really already have. So that's why they don't want LeBron to retire. And plus, we already know what's going to happen, right? The steroids is going to come up. So he keeps running back to the court, trying to run away from the steroid scandal. As long as he keeps running on the court, the steroid scandal won't come up. So, yeah, they won't even tell the man to go be with his children. This man said in the post game, he's worried about his family right now. That's the first thing. Oh, yeah. You're doing podcasts. You playing for 21 seasons. You're always out at parties. All this stuff. You're real worried about your children. Had to be at the Super Bowl. How come you couldn't have a Super Bowl party? Where was your children at? Were they there? I didn't see them. Was your wife there? I think his wife was there. He talks about Bronny. If his son's going to get drafted, and they talked about that on ESPN, and they had to ask him this in the post game because this is what it's going to be about. I told you guys already. Where is LeBron going? Is he going to opt out? Who's going to pick his son? And whoever picks his son, that's where he's going to go. He's going to opt out and go play with his son that brings you Gatorade. How does that make any sense? At least if you're going to do all this to play with your son, how's he a water boy? How's he going to play? When's he ever going to play? When a game is a blowout? Guy averaged a couple points this year in college, couple assists, couple rebounds on 30-something% shooting, and he's going to get into the NBA? Wow, that really exposes. It just exposes how weak this era really is. I don't care if it's LeBron James' son. I mean, it already got exposed. LeBron playing in year 21, literally doing dunks and layups. If you even challenge him at the rim, that's a foul. And if he doesn't get it, he's screaming, flopping, moaning, flipping, groaning at the refs. 4 guys at the three-point line, a wide open lane. Of course he could play in this era. Jordan could come. I think Jordan could lace him up and come back and play in this era too. Right now. It's a joke era. It's a gimmick league. And like I said to Outside the Lines, you asked what's going to make the NBA better and relevant again. I said, well, when they get back to playing NBA basketball, not this gimmick basketball with these skinny, frail looking guys just out there shooting 3-pointers. And I got a video coming up on that, how it's been a disaster this playoffs. These guys, if you look at their 3-point percentage by game, these teams, 19%, 21%, 30%, 35%. Sometimes they'll get lucky and it'll be like 40%, 48%. It rarely happened. It was more in the low 20s for the most part on 27 to 35 shots a game. It's been a disaster. Anybody can sit out there and just hoist up threes and break. And they told us these were the greatest shooters of all times. 80s players and 90s players couldn't play in this era. Wow. Who can't do that? So you go to practice and you just sit at the 3-point line and you just hoist up 33s a game. Now, you don't have to know any post moves, no traps, no elite passing, no mid-range, nothing. Just everybody do the same play. And, you know, I've already informed you, these are not real coaches. If the league is doing the same play, every team, down the court, 4 guys go at the 3-point line, and a center in the middle, sometimes, how is this coaching? Anybody can coach this. Adam Silver put this league together. He's the coach. He said, if you're not going to sit at the 3-point line, I don't need you in my league. Therefore, we're going to be able to bring in people or players with pretty much no talent, no positional talent, because there's no positions in this era. So what else? What else do we got? LeBron walks out. Oh, yeah. LeBron walks out and does that. Doesn't shake anybody's hands. This is the face of the league. And you wonder why all the fans are leaving. I'm trying to tell you, outside of LeBron fans, nobody likes this guy. It's that simple. It doesn't matter what you see on ESPN or Fox or anything like that. They're reading off a script. And their script is only hurting the league as far as viewership in the coming years, as it has the last 21 seasons. Nobody likes this guy outside of his fans. You couldn't say that about Patrick Ewing, Michael Jordan, Karl Malone, Shaq, Kobe. Name them. Name them. Because all these players, I'm talking about any Dr. J, Kareem, Magic, Bird, Duncan, whoever you want to name. Nobody hated, even though if you wasn't fans of theirs or the team, you never hated or disliked these players. Never. Vince Carter, name them. You can't name people who didn't like these guys, who had a hate for them. And that's because the media has made it this way. They've thrown this guy in our face, a loser for 21 seasons, while he's doing childish antics, doing all this crazy stuff. I just feel bad for the guy when he retires. It's not going to be good. So let's look at this right here. This is all the help this guy has had. First picks overall, Kyrie, AD, Rose, Howard. I forget this guy's name, but he was on the team, so I really don't. He didn't play with him. Shaq. Top 5 draft picks overall: Wade, Carmelo Anthony, Ray Allen, Chris Bosh, Westbrook, Kevin Love, Antoine Jameson, Mike Bibby, Juwan Howard, Beasley. Oh, I forget this guy's name. Matter of fact, I forget both of these guys' names. Oh, Darren Williams. Oh, Lamar, whatever his name is, Ball. This is what he had to deal with. These are just the guys that are overall #1 draft picks or top 5 draft picks. This guy has had no help. And that's what ESPN says every season, every year, every game. Why does this guy got to have so much help? And why doesn't he make his teammates better? So you take LeBron off the Lakers, this guy is averaging 30, 35 a game. Easily. 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 But like I said before, they got to play down to their talent. And because LeBron is old and he can't do all this stuff like people say he can, they got to play down and come into the play-in. And then once they get in the playoffs, boom, they're good to go. Or when they get in the play-in, they can just roll over the opponent. But they can't play to their full potential all year because LeBron is holding them back. LeBron is old. He don't have this kind of energy. That's why you see him low management, not playing no defense. Tell me what you think.